Welcome back to a brand new episode of Bloore and Mandalore. I am your host, Jeremy Bloore, and today I want to talk to you about Skeleton Crew. It is a brand new Star Wars show. Yes, we have got brand new content here in a galaxy far, far away, and I can't wait to dive into it. Personally, I really liked the first two episodes. They premiered on December the 2nd. It was a 2-episode release. I'm going to go into both of those today. I tell you what, I'm a big fan. I'm a really big fan. I've enjoyed it so much. I think, personally, this show has kind of fit into the perfect gap. Disney hasn't been very lucky when it comes to their releases. They've either hyped up shows massively and then they've tanked completely, like The Acolyte. They've released movies like Solo after the worst fucking tanking of The Last Jedi. I feel like this has been perfect. This one is going to span across Christmas and into the new year. We're going to get awesome content for the rest of 2024 and then into 2025, starting off the year fucking beautifully. Absolutely beautifully. I am a huge fan. I'm kind of moving around because I want my camera to catch me. I got a brand new camera, the Osmo Pocket 3. Recommend it to everyone. I've also got a new mic for it. So that's probably what you're seeing if you're seeing this fluffy thing. Guys, I really genuinely think this show has had the perfect circumstances to grow to be one of the greatest fan favorites. Now, not only has Rotten Tomato, generally a really shit reviewer, given this a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes at the time of this recording, it has beaten The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian episode 1 got 93%. That's a really high score. Both of those certified fresh tomatoes. But this one, I feel like it's just come at a perfect time. All of these people, like everyone that I know, be that creators to random friends or just anyone that I've talked to about this show, they've all had the same idea. It's, yeah, sure, Skeleton Crew. I guess it's a show coming out. I might watch it. I might not. I think that's perfect. One of the great things that I learned from Seinfeld, be that whatever you think about him, where he talked about being a comedian. Now, being a comedian, he goes, look, I really enjoyed doing shows when I wasn't as famous because people would come out with no idea or no conception of what your content was going to be like, whether it was good or bad. And then he said, when you get big and everything you do, everyone will laugh, everyone will say they enjoy it. I like when things go under the radar. It's perfect for a show to have zero expectations because they have nothing to prove. When a famous comedian, Seinfeld continues the quote, but when someone goes out, a successful comedian, they go out and they do a show and they say for themselves, I really love this content. This is by far some of my funniest jokes that I've ever done. They're talking about introspectively their own opinion, not the opinion of the masses. Now the people look at it and they go, this is your best content? Well, it's fucking shit. But for him, he was trying new stuff. He was attempting a new way of comedy for himself. It wasn't necessarily going to be a talk about whatever's happening at the time, kind of like a conversational comedy. Beyond all of that comedian kind of aspect of it, I think it translates so well into this show. Everybody came into the Skeleton Crew with no idea what they wanted. They had absolutely no idea where it was going to go, how it was going to end up, where these characters were going to be. All a lot of people knew was that Neel was cute as fuck and everybody still loves him, which I'm so happy about. But, it gives that connection. Even people like Star Wars Theory, someone who has hated on all of the Disney shows. You know what? Within reason, everybody can have their own opinion. But even someone like Star Wars Theory's come out and been like, I really like this. Because it's harkened back to the old days of content, of movies, of TV show. I know when I say content these days, everybody thinks about YouTube or Instagram, TikTok, whatever. But content itself is just the physical aspect of the creation of a show. It's brand new ideas and elements to that galaxy far, far away that we've never seen before. And I feel like the Skeleton Crew kind of gives us a really, really good breakdown into a theory that nobody's really thought of. Yes, it's kind of sat back and it's been a fan favorite, a lost planet from far away. I've liked that idea, but it's never been brought to the big screen because they're so afraid of stepping outside of the Skywalker saga. I think that is the benefit of this future Star Wars content. Disney has seen, look, I'm going to allow creative freedom to the directors, to Dave Filoni. I'm going to allow them to do whatever they want within reason because they need to make money. But I'm going to allow them to do whatever they want and give them the opportunity to create absolute cinema. Now, I'm not saying that this is a perfect show. This has not been perfect. I'm very well aware of its limitations and its flaws. Now, it's a show centered around kids. It's never going to be mind-breakingly influential because this is a kids' show. But this is what we needed. This is what we needed as a show to be able to step back away from this incredible heat that the Star Wars galaxy has been in lately and just kind of enjoy. It's a nothing show. It's got nothing in it of substance that is going to completely reshape your idea of the galaxy far, far away. And that's what I think is the perfect Star Wars content. The perfect Star Wars content for me is something that you can switch off. Now, it was really cool. Will of the Force, he's back. Will Diamond, as you probably would have already known him, everybody loves that guy. He's an absolute pillar of the community. Love him so much. He's come back to Star Wars. He took a break and he made a very good video. It was a short video. I really recommend checking it out. It was like 12 minutes long. Absolutely nothing. So please go check it out, and because it broke it down perfectly. He was talking about the hate that everything's been getting lately after The Acolyte and all of the sequels, people coming out and then going, this is shit. Like, I don't want to watch it. You son of a bitch. You fuck you. Don't give me content that I'm not going to like. I don't know why he was speaking in an Arnold accent, but it was good. It was a very nice step back into kind of an appreciation mode. And I feel like this is what everyone's going to be going through with this show. Look, today, I don't really want to go into the in-depths of the 2 episodes. You're going to have so many people who do it much better than me and do it in a far more detailed way. I'd recommend watching people like Screen Crush, Beyond the Dune Sea massively, Star Wars 66. They do all their reactions. They break it down. Beyond the Dune Sea is probably going to be the best one to go to when it comes to the fine details. But today I wanted to go into an overview of the episodes, and I kind of wanted to break down the characters for you. The characters, I feel, are stepping us into this world in such a beautiful way, such a vivid, imaginative way, a way that we could really only see as kids. And it's something that's made me enjoy it so much more. So, let's start off with the episode. We started off on this planet called Adam or Ad Adam. I don't exactly know how to spell it right now, and because everybody's kind of been saying it differently, but Ad Adam, right? It's a faraway planet, seemingly in a galaxy far, far away that nobody's heard of and nobody's seen. Now, one of the really cool things that I saw at the top were all of these kind of beamed, but they were like grid lines at the top. There were no stars. Immediately, you feel like you're locked in this world. It was the first time we kind of see a planet that is lived in. It is a completely lived-in planet. And by that, I mean it's got amazing structure. It's got a neighborhood feel. Everything to do with it doesn't feel like it's the grand scheme, like a skeleton of what a planet could be. It's very much just the planet itself. It's the interworkings. It's the relationships between parents and their children. I love that. I love diving deep into one specific planet, learning so much more. And this is what it's giving us. So we start off with our kids and they're going through, we've got Wim and Neel, okay? A bunch of others, but we start off with the 2. I really, really love their relationship. Wim is straight off the bat someone who is very easily related to as a child. Someone who feels like they're not understood, like they're not meant to be here. They're meant for greater things. I know straight away I immediately felt connected to Wim, mainly because of his sense for adventure. I grew up in the country in Australia and I loved it. I want to move back there. There's nothing wrong with that. But as a kid and you're watching all the movies and the TV shows and all these other things, and you're seeing all these kids who are a walk away from everyone else. Now, yes, I was connected to my neighbors and I'd go over to my neighbors all the time. But I could never go out and see all of these amazing things and try all of these different things and experience all this kind of stuff, like the traditional American childhood. Now, a lot of you who are watching this, because I have a high American audience, you would have seen it and you would have felt it. Most presumably that would have resonated more with you. But for me, Wim, and the start off with this character, it's perfect. I really, really enjoy how it's going. Now, the two of them have a supreme imagination. It starts off with the two of them kind of like fighting with fake lightsabers. I think it would be really cool if you actually see that that's a real lightsaber. Like what he's been playing with as a toy is just a shell of a lightsaber without a kyber crystal. That would be really cool. And that's kind of just like what he's gotten. Probably won't be. But, you know, they're playing with their lightsabers, they're jumping on the bus and they're going to school. Now, immediately, we're kind of teleported out of Star Wars. We're seeing something that is within the Star Wars universe, but it's not necessarily the Force-related, a Jedi, Sith, even though he's playing with the toys. You're kind of getting that childhood aspect, which I know everybody has always done. Playing with their toys, creating all of these different visions, playing with mates, lightsaber battles, all that kind of stuff. It's a very relatable show so far, and I hope that it's really good to shape the future generation of kids who watch Star Wars to enjoy this kind of stuff. So starting off, we go in there, we go to the school. We see the school and it's very specific. Now, one thing that I really, really didn't like specifically was the droids being teachers. I mean, everybody has had their favorite teachers. And it's one thing that really, it helped me break away from the idea of Wim needing to escape. It allowed me to kind of see, well, yeah, buddy, I definitely understand why. Like this droid, and looking at the camera and we're doing this, and you've got to go to... Fuck, who could pay attention in a class like that? Legitimately, who could pay attention? So you got him, you got Neel, the kind of studious dude, and then you start to see more kids as they go. Now, Wim has got kind of a little bit of a crush. Oh my God. He's got a little bit of a crush on, I've got Fern. I was about to say Reva. No, imagine Reva from... like Kenobi. Imagine Reva. I hate Darth Vader. So what's interesting as well, this is set in the New Republic time. I'll give a theory on that in a bit. But you see these kids, he's got a little bit of a crush on Fern. He sees her, even if it's not a crush, he's in awe of her adventurous spirit. One thing that I saw, I can't take credit for this, I saw this on a Facebook post. I can't remember the author. I believe it might have been Screen Crush. I have no idea. But what one really cool thing is when Fern is actually wearing her jacket, it's always inside out until she sees her mum. So that was like another little side. You see the rebellious side of that. So these kids, they're going to school, they're having their regular life. You don't really spend too much time there, but what you do see is how heavily controlled this whole planet is. There's robots everywhere, patrolling every single section of it. They're constantly on the lookout for the kids to make sure they guide them down this one path. There's restricted areas and prohibited areas, and then you've also got places where the kids can only go and traverse. Now, it's a little bit of an interesting dynamic. You kind of see the kids, and when they come back from school in this first episode, you see the very, very important aspect of Neel's parents. Neel's parents, even though it's in a far distance frame on a shot that went for about 5 seconds, you see the parents of Neel embracing him and being very supportive of his day at school. Transport to Wim's house, there's no one. There's absolutely no one. Little bit interesting. So we're going to kind of see the importance of growing with a father. a present father. He's got a father in there. And his father, the thing is, it's you're seeing it from Wim's perspective. You understand how hard the father's working in order to be able to pay the bills. Now, speaking of paying, he's given him Old Republic credits. One really cool thing that you kind of see when he's like, oh, well, I'm going to be really busy. It's you need to study, but here, have some lunch money, right? And he gives him these Republic credits. And he goes, here you go. Like, look at these. Fucking gold with the Old Republic insignia on it. Now, I mean, immediately, a lot of people thought out of the gate, oh, these are Gold Republic credits. No, they're Old Republic credits. The Gold Republic credits are not a thing. It's not like a New Republic thing that they've been adding in. So it's straight out of the bat. It's like, oh, wait, whoa. These guys are like really fucking rich. They're really well off. But it's so enclosed. They're trapped in this cage. It's like you can go to one different side and the other. Now, they've kind of put a little bit of emphasis on the test. Now, the big test of, see it like a high school leaving certificate, whatever. It's basically telling you the career that you're going to be going on. Neel did super well. Wim missed it. Why did he miss it? Because he wanted to be adventurous. He saw Fern on the first day going with her speeder bike and out into these areas that she's not meant to go. Like, you see the big signs, it's like no speeders, and then she's fucking down into these tunnels and having that awesome race in between different cars, which I'm loving the CGI on this show so far. So you see Wim kind of trying to be like Fern. Fern is very much that cool kid, but she's going down this path that I just can't follow. But no, like Wim is trying to be like Fern. He goes down this backward path because he's late, he's missed the bus, and he's going off in through the bush, and it's kind of like a lot of this is just massive Easter eggs towards all of the old original like Christmas specials, the original trilogy. We've got like a whole bunch of New Hope stuff, but this definitely felt like it was connected to Endor. Like traveling through, you've got Leia and all of the scout troopers, and they're going in between the trees. He's traveling through the bushes. Absolutely obsessed with this one. I think the callbacks in this show already have been elite. Like, absolutely elite. You can tell they've done their history and they've done their research, motherfuckers. So what they do is he's going through the bush and there's a big ravine. Now, obviously, we see it and we're like, no, don't do it. And then lately he goes, ah! And he goes, whoa. I just wanted to test the camera because, and he's kind of like, he falls into this canyon. And then you see behind him, after he's hit the ground and there's a bunch of like dirt and dust and grass all fell away, there is a massive door. Now, all throughout the previous episode and even before, we got to see him focusing on the Jedi, talking about these temples, which is a really cool hark back to Rebels. All these temples that rise and they fall. And I love it. Like, I love that he wants to be a Jedi. You kind of see that whole perspective of, hey, even in class when he's like, I want to be a protector. And they're like, you want to be a Jedi? Oh, what a fucking loser. Go be a fucking mechanic or something, you loser. Oh, what do you want to do? Get a fucking lightsaber? Knob jockey, you know what I mean? It's like they're kind of bullying him for being one of the coolest things. Like, I think everyone in school wanted to be a Jedi. Anyways, he sees this door and immediately goes, oh my god, this is a Jedi temple. This is the Jedi temple I've been looking for. Now, if you watched my previous episode that I did last week, I talked a lot about theories. They were going to find a ship, or if they were going to find a temple, and it was kind of like Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy, right? They find something, it changes everything. They go, whoa, and they transport away. Now, I mean, I knew this was going to happen. Actually, a lot of my theories have kind of come true, which is really cool so far, or at least they're leading to coming true. So what we see is that big door and it's stopped immediately, right? He sees this, he goes, oh my god, it's going to be a fucking Jedi temple, and then these robots come in. Well, I like these robots because they kind of look like pit droids, but cooler. You know what I mean? It's kind of like they've got the one singular eye, very old school, but like the pit droids, if they didn't have that weird fucking helmet, They would definitely look like these. So he gets stopped by the pit droids. He goes in, father angry at him. What the fuck? I've got you a fucking replacement for the test. But who is there waiting outside of the principal's office? It's Fern. And he hears she hears the conversation with Wim and his father and just goes, oh shit, oh my god, there's a fucking Jedi temple, no way. Like, that's fucking sick. Being the rebel that she is, she wants to go explore it. She wants to try to kind of like fucking break free. I think Wim and Fern are so much on the same level. That's why they kind of like, they clash quite a bit because they want the same thing. When they realize that later on, I think they're going to be either really good friends or kind of like in a little bit of a shipping relationship, which would be a bit weird because they're kids. But you know what I mean? It's like I think a lot of people are just going to ship them together. I'm not a big fan of that. Not a big fan of that. I just think they're going to be really good friends. I think they're going to make for a really cool crew. So what we see is she's kind of like, oh, let's find out about that. She follows him. She hears about where it is, and then I forgot that it follows me. And you know, the next day, Neel very upset, but a fucking G. Neel is a absolute weapon. Neel goes, hey, you know what? I can skip the fucking test with you. I can help you study. Like, I know everything. I think I actually did pretty fucking well. So I'll help you study. He's like, no. You don't realize this is going to be the big thing for me. This is going to be the Jedi Temple. I'm going to find what I want to do. This is going to be my next big break. Neel, come on. You got to come with me. So Neel's like, oh, I don't want to get in trouble. He's like, come on. We're not going to get in trouble. They make their little pathway there, and you see the classic shot that we saw on the trailer and for the poster, the skeleton crew poster, which was really cool. It was kind of like a little bit of an 80s, it was very 80s themed, like E.T. You know, they've got the two speeder bikes and they've got the big ship. So they're going in and they make their way down into this big tunnel. Oh my God, surprise, the girls are there. Now, fast forward, they open the door, all that kind of stuff. You kind of see the relation between Fern, KB, Neel, and also Wim. So all of them are kind of like, they're seeming like they want to go against each other. KB's kind of like joining in. Anyways, so they find this ship. The ship that has an old droid, SM-33. I'm going to go into the character breakdown in just a bit. This is a little bit of an overview. So then they break into the ship. What I really, really like about this ship is not only that it's old, I love that this ship is in hibernation mode. Now, obviously, we know that they flick a couple of buttons, they turn everything on, and it goes, and it all the way, like, starts floating up, and Wim's there, like, hey, Dad, like, hey, and he's like, oh, come down, Wim, come down, and it basically nearly kills him by trying to fucking jump off. Bit of a fucking stupid but idiot. But so Wim is there and they fall into the ship and they kind of realize, oh my God, there's skeletons in the closet. There's also a fucking droid that he's holding on to, like he's up there. He's like holding on to this fucking one of the levers that would, I mean, theoretically turn on the ship, but that closed the door. That kind of like sparked it. Boom, 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 boom. The kids started off, they go off and they go into seeing the first stars that they've ever seen. Now, when they're going up, you see them pass through that grid into nothingness. What I really liked is it kind of looked like it was an asteroid. Like Adam looked like it was an asteroid floating around with all of this other debris. Like it was nothing. It was definitely a facade that somebody put on, a cover that they've put on this planet to hide it. Now, in the second episode, very briefly, because there's only a few things that happen. There's a lot of call-outs to previous works of fiction, like the original trilogy. We're seeing Teeks, we're seeing all that kind of stuff. Teeks are the little monkey, long-haired thing. Really, really cool. We saw the droid that was with Jabba the Hutt. He's doing a tattoo, all that kind of stuff. Awesome harkbacks. Absolutely love that. Species galore. One thing that I will say is this whole pirate planet, I love. I love the idea of going to seeing all of these pirates. That pirates are the new big bad. I talked about this in my theories video, but it was like Mandalorian was going straight towards all these pirates being so big and so bad and everywhere. They're literally like there's hundreds of them everywhere. I love that we got to see more of them. Like actually, that was probably my favorite thing, kind of seeing this and just going, man, finally there's more bad people than just the Sith. Like I want to see the inner workings of the galaxy. And that's really what this second episode was. It was it was a hive of scum and villainy. Basically the kids, they've given out their Old Republic credits and people go, oh, like you see the Teak when he gives it, oh, running away, does all that kind of stuff. Really, really cool. But I don't know how we're going to continue with all of this kind of like, oh, that's all the Republic credits that he has. I don't know how we're going to continue with this kind of like, oh, the kids are being chased for their money. Once they've been given it, they're going to be hunted to try to find the planet, which at Adam, they think that it is, I mean, the pirates have it as their mystical land, a land of fortune, of gold. It has nothing but the greatest treasure everywhere. It's mountains of gold. Maybe that's the planet that we're talking about. So to end this episode, we see Jude Law, who is, I mean, so fucking cool. Jude Law uses the Force. Boom, he tries, like, fucking brings the key towards them when they're locked in a gate. Done. Boom, gone. Let's go into the characters. All right. So, Jod Narwood, who is fucking Jude Law's character. Now, I've got a couple of things here. First of all, is he actually Force sensitive? There's one of the things that kind of like you see in a lot of the fictional Star Wars stuff, which is like, fuck, I mean, I guess it's all fiction, but you see in Star Wars, it's like, man, okay, they're pulling something, it has to be the Force. Well, I would love to see this as kind of like a trickery. Maybe there is another pirate looking from a distance and using a magnet, or maybe Jude Law is using a magnet himself. Maybe he does have the Force, and he is a Jedi. But what if he's a Sith? What if he is a bad guy? Now, one thing that I kind of had a little theory about was, I talked about in my previous one, there's going to be another like episode of fucking, oh, there's another fucking Order 66 and there's another person who survived. Man, I would be so fucking annoyed if that's the case. But maybe that could be. There's another Jedi. Somehow the clones really, really sucked at what they did, and Palpatine made the worst plan and he just did not follow through. This guy was an Order 66, or maybe even before that. Maybe like a Jedi who had just gone, fuck the Order. Like he sees Dooku leave and he's like, yeah, fuck the Order. Maybe he's a Dooku loyalist. That would be kind of cool because we see in Mandalorian Season 3, there's that separatist leader who's like a Dooku loyalist. Maybe that was kind of like a little bit of a hint. But, you know, Dooku loyalist, he escapes and he leaves, and then he wants to become a pirate because he's like, fuck this religion shit. I don't care about that. I just want to be a bad guy. But we see him at the start. Now, the start of the first episode, I didn't talk about it, but it was the classic fucking hallway scene. We open up to the coolest pirate hallway scene. Star Wars has the best hallway scenes by far, like of all time, any show, any fictional universe, and they did it fucking perfectly. We got to see a bunch of really, really cool species, hundreds of them. Hundreds of old species and a couple of brand new ones, but one that really stood out was Brutus, okay? I'll go into Brutus a little bit later. So Brutus listens to his captain. Who's the captain? Captain Silvo. He walks like Jude Law, he talks like Jude Law, and he's got a fucking mask on. I wonder who the fuck it's gonna be. I think that Captain Silvo, this is not like really hard to fucking figure out. Captain Silvo is Jude Law or Jod Narwood. Look, it's a very, very much like, oh, like it's kind of giving it to us theory, but, you know, who knows? Who knows? I think that the kids are up to, I mean, they're not going to be up to good if they start trusting him. I mean, I wouldn't personally trust a dude who is double chained up in a jail that they got thrown into after being fucking good. Like, they got chucked into a bad jail for credits. And this dude's like overhearing their whole conversation. He sees the sock full of credits. And he's like, hey, by the way, I can help you. Force. Ooh, you know, key. Ooh, we can get out of here. I wouldn't trust that guy. I absolutely would not trust that guy. So let's get into Wim. Wim was played by Ravi Cabot Conyers. I can't say that properly, but it is a hyphenated word. Cabot Conyers. I think he's Force sensitive. He wants to be a Jedi, which is really, really cool. What I like about Wim is that he seems to be Force driven. I talked about the Force before, but the Force is a catalyst for change, and Wim is that catalyst for change. He has single-handedly shaped the future of all of the kids in Skeleton Crew. Now, yes, maybe there's just like a bunch of fucking coincidences that happen, but personally, I believe that the Force is pushing Wim into a direction that he has not foreseen, that they are making him into being one of the big heroes. I think because he has that calling for the Jedi, he's going to be a Jedi, and the Force is forcing him into that little position. So the one big thing about him is his father not being very present. You see how much it weighs on him, how he just wants to be someone, how his father just can't understand where he's at and what he wants to do. It's kind of it's a bit upsetting. It's a bit upsetting because it's like, man, I want him to be happy. I want him to have what Neel has. But without that, he wouldn't have the change that is needed to be the bigger guy, the big catalyst for change. He needs this bad stuff to happen for the good to happen. Now, obviously, our next character is Fern. Because I think Fern is that classic, like, bad boy type, you know, the rebel character, really, really rebellious, awesome, bad to the bone, you know what I mean? Like, wears my jacket inside out, fuck yeah, I'm riding a speeder into a no speeder zone, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, that's cool and all, brother, you know, but I don't actually think she's as bad as what she wants to portray herself as. I think that she is the nice person who's misunderstood. But this is where I get into a bit of a theory, right? So we see her mother is the New Republic officer. Yeah. You're thinking what I'm thinking. It's not the New Republic that we know. I think that Fern's mother is a part of the New Republic in this shrouded place called At Adam. Now, we know that it's been silenced and held down by all of this different stuff. Like we've got a net over. I think that this is harking back to an original movie called The Truman Show. Really, really cool. Really, really cool movie. It's basically, you know, Truman is living his life seemingly. He doesn't understand that everything around him is actors and there's cameras and everything everywhere. Oh my God, we're breaking free. We're breaking free of this nonsense, right? What I think is Fern's mum is a fucking New Republic. It is from a old planet, right? An old planet from a long, long time ago, and she's like hundreds of years dormant, and they've created this New Republic based on the old Republic stuff. Like all of the Sith have been eradicated, the bad people eradicated. They've been like, I'm just going to island myself here. I'm just going to isolate all of our problems, hide ourselves from the world, and create our new order. Because the New Republic is nowhere near as smart to be able to do all this kind of stuff. No idea why they would hide this planet from all of its amazing fucking like old Republic wealth and all that kind of stuff that could fuel their empire from a legitimate standpoint. You know, not from the money from slavery or pirates or anything like that. Like, it's such a good way to kind of just make these kids feel more isolated than what they really are. So we've got KB. Now, there's not much about KB. We kind of just see her as like this cool kid who is really level-headed. For me, she is the smart one out of all of them. It's really cool. She's very tech-savvy because she's got the Lobot. Now, everybody, I mean, Apparently everybody loves Lobot. I fucking don't care about this dude. I don't like him. I don't like Lobot. I don't know why everyone's so obsessed with him, but Lobot he's kind of got like this he's got this whole fucking band of shit on. Well, I mean, it's on the back of his head, and it's basically like a computer in your head, and KB has got that. I fucking love that side of it. She's been able to tap into the systems and kind of like log into all of these different user faces and you know, and power into it and all that kind of stuff. Absolutely love it. Really, really cool. But I think she is the necessary glue for the boys and the girls to get along. You can see she's so much more compassionate. I think her character is going to grow into being probably, I mean, one of the most, maybe not the biggest character in all of them, because obviously Wim, Neel, and Fern are I mean, maybe even get rid of Neel. Neel's like a bit of a fan favorite, but even for the show, like Fern and Wim are definitely the main characters of the group. They're the two rivaling leaders that clash. Right? But I think that KB is, with her compassionate, lovely sense of humor and just like a knowledge, she is going to be the glue that binds everyone together and makes them a real crew. Maybe if they go down further, she's going to be the one who is like, hey guys, I don't think we should trust Jude or like fucking, what's his name? I keep on calling him Jude Law, which is not good. It's not good. It is Jod Narwood. See, okay, Jod to Jude. Come on. Like, obviously, I'm going to screw that up. So I'm keen to see where she goes. But let's get on to Neel. KB, she was played by Kirina Karetha. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But Neel is played by Robert Timothy Smith. Now, he is a sentient alien species. He is not a descendant of the same species of Max Rebo. Just want to put that one out there. That has been said by the directors ages and ages ago. They didn't want Neel to kind of fit into the same category as Max Rebo. He has arms. Max Rebo, he plays the instruments with his feet. So Neel has arms. He has a longer trunk. He's a lot thick. Like, he has a thicker trunk. That they have actually stated that there are multiple species out there like that. He's not related. I kind of like that. I wish that he was related to Max Rebo in some way, like species-wise, but he's not. He's not. So to anyone out there who's kind of like, oh, he's Max Rebo, I thought that last time as well. He's not. He's not. And I should have seen that on my previous episode. I got that very wrong. So for all of my theories that I get right, I equally get them wrong. I really like how much of a friend to Wim Neel is. He's the kind of guy that you want to have around you all the time. He's super supportive. He's a die-hard friend. You want this kind of guy around you at all times. I hope we get to see more of their friendship. It's so much more important to have someone like Neel. I think KB and Neel, they're just the glue. There is no way this crew could run at all if it wasn't for at least Neel or at least KB. So Neel is very much like, I'll go to a certain distance, sure, because he's like, I know you want to have this journey, but I want to get back to my family. Like, my family's kind of like, not just throwing shade. He doesn't throw shade. He's a really good guy. But he's kind of like throwing, like a little bit throwing shade. Like, my parents actually love me. Like, they kind of want to be with me. I like my parents. I want to hang out with them. So, I think personally, I think he's the best character. I think he's the best character so far out of the crew. I really, really like him. From his character design to his witty humor to just his cute, like, personality. I love it. I love Neel. He's going to be the thumbnail. He has to be the thumbnail. Absolutely love it. But let's get into the last character that I want to talk about, all right? And then I'll wrap this up with the fan segment. SM33, played by Nick Frost. I love Nick Frost. I think he's really, really funny. English comedian. He did a couple of really funny movies. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head what the name was, but it was that zombie movie. I can't think about it. Anyways, SM33, it's kind of it's a little bit of play on Smee, right? He's the guy who's the right-hand man of Captain Hook. Now SM33 he's a droid who previously had a captain. The captain's ship was completely decimated. All of the skeletons are over there with knives through them, dead. I think presumably for a very, very long time. Like, these guys are old. I want to see more of it. I want to see more of like the origins of SM33. But I mean, by far, right now, he has been my favorite droid. Like, actually, like, I know R5 is definitely up there because obviously the Mandalorian's right-hand man. But if I was going to do like a fantasy crew, I would have SM33 in there instantly. Like, I love that he used the heated up shields to just sear the face of this dude. He's like, oh, you fucking... Argh! And just cuts him in. Oh, love that. Absolutely love that. I think he's so cool. Like the Henry Cavill, dish, dish, fuck you, boom, fucking shoots through. I want to see so much more. I think he's just such a badass robot. Pirate droid. Okay, remember that. He's a pirate droid. He was very loyal to his previous captain who was killed. Who was killed by Fern. I hope that he stays with the crew. I hope that he's loyal to Fern even when she gets defeated. That he's not just kind of a turntail. He understands that his previous captain's dead. I hope that it would take into Fern dying before he moved on to the next one. Obviously, we see that kind of loyalty. Like, they got captured and he was like, don't touch my captain. You know what I mean? Really, really cool. I think he's hundreds of years old. I really do. I think that whole crew on that ship, yes, it was in hibernation mode, but I think that whole crew is hundreds of years old, and SM33 is from an old time, a High Republic time, an Old Republic time where it was lodged in the dirt. They shrouded this place with a big mask, and then they were lodged in the dirt. They covered it up, being like, "Oh no, we don't want to show this ship. Let's just fucking fucking kick some dirt onto it. Yeah, that'll do. They're not gonna fucking wake up. They're all dead anyway. You know, maybe they killed them." Woo! There's a couple of really cool theories, but I really hope SM33 comes through. Oh, and special mention to Brutus. Yeah, Brutus. He's a cool guy. Yeah, he's a very cool guy. That was not a Donald Trump impression. That was a Dr. Evil impression. But I can do a Trump impression. It's a pretty good Trump impression. Not the best Trump impression, but an American one. Brutus, like that wolf beast kind of guy. We see his species in A New Hope. I believe it's the same one. He's in he's one of the distant characters in the bar. I really like that. I want to see more. Obviously, who doesn't love a badass wolf dude? You know what I mean? Sorry, just readjusting my butt on the couch. Not the couch, the chair. I really want to see more of Brutus. I think he's a really cool character. He's definitely going to be a better villain than Captain Silvo would have been. Captain Silvo was like, hey, look, by the way, he's not Australian, but there's a bunch of bloody gold in that here vault, you know, but you fucking come over here, fucking check that fucking shit out, you know? And then they're just like, oh, what the fuck? There's literally nothing but one piece. Like, so many people died for you. Fuck you. You know, I think he's going to be a better leader. I think he's going to be a better villain. I hope to see more of him. But let's get into the fan segment. So I didn't write this one down because I kind of wanted to. I wanted to get into this on my phone. A lot of people wrote some amazing responses, and I just don't want. I don't want my writing to. I don't want my writing to kind of like fuck that up. So I put out on my fan segment. I said, it's a pretty simple question. What do you think of the first two episodes? So, Star Wars Sith 66 said, lots of fun, Truman Show movie vibes. Dude, yeah. Neel is more handsome than you, Bloore. Bro, don't say that. I don't know why I said it like that. You know what, bro? You know what? He can be more handsome than me. I get that. It's hard to be more handsome than me. But I'm not going to lie, man. I think you beat both of us. You are a handsome dude with a big, thick, juicy beard. I love you, bro. Thank you so much for commenting. I was going to be hurt, but I'm at least glad that someone who's more handsome than me thinks that someone else is just at their level or just under. You know what I mean? From Star Wars Nerd 00, he says, Neel! I love it. It took me by surprise. Episode 2 felt a little slower for me, but I'm loving it. He had another one on. Hated the holiday special nod. Got PTSD flashbacks. What he's talking about is when they're looking in through the window and you see the kids watching that little show and they're like dun, 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 doing like the circus thing. That's from the holiday special. That's actually cut out from it. I love that this is like, obviously it's holiday time. They want to do it around. It's like a Christmas special kind of thing. I would love to kind of make the Skeleton Crew my holiday kind of wish list. Just to chuck that one up. That's my new TV show that I watch at Christmas time. So yes, that was kind of funny though. That was kind of funny. I did not like the holiday special. I did not at all. But I think that's really cool to have callbacks to something like that. You know, making it canon, I guess. Beyond the Dune Sea, the fucking boys, he said, fresh and loving the practical effects, need more Brutus. 100%. I'm with you with Brutus. I love that practical effect. Like, to see his mouth open and move in a very, like, puppet way is so classic Star Wars. I think that they're understanding it. Disney understands what we need and what we need to see. The Galactic Cantina 66 said, "Oh, Neel." Yeah, I back you, bro. I back you. I fucking love Neel. I love Neel. I don't know what you wanted to say with Neel, but I love him. The one thing with Beyond the Dune Sea is as well, go check out. They had an episode that premiered on Wednesday. Really, really cool. I was actually in the intro. I did the voiceover for their intro. I had so much fun doing it. I really, really hope you guys enjoy it. I loved it. I hope you guys fucking see how much work the Beyond the Dune Sea put into that. I just put in, I did the voiceover, which was awesome, which is really, really cool. I did the voiceover, and then I also did I had like a green screen, and I was in the Mando helmet. I had a cape on, and I was just like, boom, and I slapped Seth across the camera, which was kind of cool. Love it. I love working with those guys. That was a dream come true. So please, like, for me, if any of you like this channel and you haven't seen it, please go watch that episode. I love it. You'll be able to see, if you haven't already seen their show, like, you'll be able to see just the absolute genius that these guys have. I love them so much. They've been a massive pillar of this show, a pillar of the Star Wars community. I think they're going to grow to be one of the biggest channels, if not the biggest channel in the Star Wars community. And I hope at one point, if anyone was going to make a fan movie, it would be them. We get to see them make a fan, or not even a fan movie. If anyone's going to make a movie as a fan, I would hope it'd be them. I want to see them on the board of the fucking creative directors of Star Wars. They deserve it. They know everything. I know a lot of people who deserve it. A lot of people. Star Wars 66, Will of the Force, Mortis FM, all these amazing creators. Star Wars Nerd 00. Don't forget about him. I want to see everyone up there, but Beyond the Dune Sea, it's a completely different level. It's a completely different level, and I hope for all the other people that I mentioned just then, you understand as well. It's a completely different level. I love them so much. But I'm going to call it there. I'm going to leave it. I need to fucking go to breakfast with my girlfriend. I love you all. I love you all so fucking much. Thank you so much for joining, for watching. I hope you like my new camera. I actually do. Look at this. I can just fucking walk around. It literally tracks everywhere I go. Oh, you can see. I hold a bunch of my stuff on the side there. Let's see. It tracks my head. You can kind of see more. I love this. I love this camera. For anyone who wants to know, yeah, it is the Osmo Pocket 3. I'm obsessed. I'm going to make so many cool videos with this. So, and it kind of gives me it just gives me a bit more freedom. So if you guys want to see a certain type of video, let me know down below. Let me know in the comment section. Love you all so much. I love you all. Oh my God, I hiccuped. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for watching and for joining in. I'm fucking forever grateful for every single one of you. I hope we get to see more Skeleton Crew being the fucking peak Star Wars that I think it will be. I think it's great that we had no expectation. I want to see more. I want to see everything to do with this over the holiday time. Bring us into the new year with a great fucking show, a great fucking community. I love you all. Thank you so much, and I will catch you in the next one. Ciao, motherfuckers. I actually don't really know how to end this one. I'm going to click this. I love you. Bye.